Today we're going to talk about using Google Ads to get clients to your acupuncture practice. Now, getting visitors to your website is usually the first step, and there are many ways to do that, and Google advertising could be the cheapest and the fastest if done right. What makes Google Ads different than a lot of other advertising is that you're able to reach people who are specifically looking for your practice, as opposed to, let's say, Meta or Facebook ads, where you kind of have to interrupt people, and hopefully you're interrupting the right people with your advertisement. But here, when somebody is searching for acupuncture or searching for a treatment for their ailment, we could show them a very specific ad that they're going to be interested in. Now, the most important thing is that we're not wasting money, and you can easily waste money by not doing proper targeting and not showing your advertisements to the right people. So what we really want to do is focus on the lowest hanging fruit. What I mean is putting our ads in front of the people who are most likely to actually book a visit. And the purpose of this video is going to show you not the only strategy, and it's not going to be a comprehensive strategy for your acupuncture practice. What I really want to do is help you just get people in the door, so you could start building your practice. So when it comes to acupuncture, by far the most sought out reason why people seek acupuncture is for dealing with chronic pain. Now, there's also many other things that we can go for, like stress or sleep, but we really want to just getting people in the door. If we are using Google Ads to target people who are seeking treatment for pain, we are going to be more successful than if we would go for, let's say, people who are seeking treatment for stress. That's not to say that we can't use Google Ads for those other issues, but like I said, we want to get people in the door. We want to be able to make Google Ads work for us right now. And once we have a good campaign for people who are our low-hanging fruit, we can then expand and start testing out other audiences and other kinds of visitors. Additionally, when it comes to acupuncture, women are more likely than men to seek acupuncture for treatments. And so in addition to targeting clients and patients who are interested in pain treatment, I'm also going to discuss people and patients who are seeking women's health treatments, because those are also very low-hanging fruit. And both require two different strategies. But if we implement these strategies, you're very likely to get people in your office and in your practice ASAP. So let's talk about targeting people who are looking for treatment for pain management. And I'm going to use back pain as our example over here. Now, people who are looking for treatment for back pain on Google will often search for something like back pain treatment near me. Let's say you will purchase or bid on, let's say, back pain treatment. Okay, so anybody who puts in that search term within your local area will see your ad if you are bidding the highest. What we will do is we will bid on that keyword, and I'm actually going to link to a video that shows exactly the technical execution in terms of how to set up a campaign. That's a more technical and just like follow the instructions thing that you need to do. And so if you're going to be doing this yourself, you can follow that video. But in terms of the strategy specifically for acupuncturists, what we're going to do is we're going to bid on those keywords. So focusing on back pain, we'll have the keyword back pain treatment, back pain relief, help with back pain, chronic back pain treatment. Now, we could probably expand that list of keywords. The important thing is that the Google algorithm will understand what your intent is, what the intent of the searcher will be. Now, your campaign is actually probably going to be competing most likely with chiropractors and physical therapy and maybe some other people who are bidding on that back pain keyword. And you might think that like, oh my gosh, I'm going to now have to pay a lot more because I have all these other competitors. And so here is where the strategy comes in. In our ad, we are going to actually mention acupuncture. Here is an example of the kind of ad that we're going to show. Back pain that won't go away, acupuncture may help, free consultation available. So what we did over here is we took someone who wasn't searching for acupuncture in particular, because there's a lot of searches for this, and we definitely want to make sure that we're getting in front of a lot of people. And we told them, even though they were not interested specifically in acupuncture, we're introducing to them the idea that acupuncture might help, okay? And so they might see this ad next to a chiropractor ad. Now, if they were totally not interested in acupuncture at all, they're probably not going to click on your ad. And the good thing is that with Google, we only pay when someone clicks on us. So we really want them to be aware in the early stage of our advertisement that we are providing acupuncture services. And so for many people, they're just not going to click on that ad, and that's okay. But the person that would likely click on this ad is going to be someone who's curious about acupuncture or somewhat familiar with them. And so the way this ad is structured and the way this strategy works is by showing them the acupuncture in the title. And then in our description, we actually say, you don't have to believe in acupuncture to ask questions. Book your free consultation. And so this strategy focuses on getting people to at least come for the consultation, because once they show that they're interested and that they have something that they can learn in a free consultation, then they'll be able to book the appointment. So we're going for high volume here, but the more people that we can get to see our ad and show that they're interested in a free consultation, the more people that we could develop into patients. Now, when it comes to the ad, please note that in the description below, you'll see there's a spreadsheet with all the different kinds of text that you can use for this kind of ad. So take a look at that, because in Google Ads, you get to put 15 different headlines and 4 different descriptions. All that text is available. And so you can go ahead and access that. Now, because they clicked on your ad and they saw that it was specifically for acupuncture, our landing page is going to need to discuss acupuncture in reference to back pain. It can't just be your generic homepage that you're going to send them to. What we really want is a page on your website that's specifically for either general pain and acupuncture for treating general pain. And on that page, really make sure that back pain and those chronic pain points that people are searching for is going to be right up and center on that page. A lot of times on the hero section, that first section, you could even have a bullet point of the different kinds of chronic pain that your treatments can help. Or if you really want to invest in this campaign, then you would develop a special landing page, a special page on your website specifically for back pain. And then you can discuss different kinds of back pain on that page, but really making sure that that page is going to speak to that kind of search inquiry. Now, if any of that seems confusing, like I said, I'm going to link to a video that helps you with the technical execution. But I also want you to know, before we move on in this video, that I have regular office hours every week where I take your questions, and I could happily field any Google Ads related questions specifically on strategy. And I'll even look at the way you have your ads set up if you want some expert advice or input on how you have things set up. So with this campaign, we are able to target people who are not necessarily acupuncture patients or people who have not necessarily even done acupuncture before. But because of the high volume of searches, and because we could educate people in the process of their treatment by providing them with the free consult and by opening up their eyes to the potential of acupuncture, we will be able to get people into our practice and be able to target a large population. Now, there is another group of low-lying fruit, and that is the people who are searching specifically for treatments with the word acupuncture in it. So they might actually say, acupuncture treatment for back pain. Now, the strategy for people who are actually familiar with acupuncture is a little bit different, because it's a much lower volume of traffic, but much more high intent. Let's take, for example, somebody who might search for acupuncture treatment for hormone imbalance. And that's a very popular search. It's not super high volume, but a lot of people are searching for that kind of treatment. And we want to make sure that we're going to be number one for that search, because we could definitely provide services to that kind of patient. For example, let's take a look at this ad. If somebody were to search for acupuncture for hormones, we can put an ad like acupuncture for hormone imbalance. And so we would be bidding on this search term, acupuncture for hormones, and similar kinds of search terms, and Google will understand the intent that we want. And so by following the video that I'm sharing on how to set up your ad, you'll understand which kind of search terms to use. But by getting the people with the right intent, what we'll be able to do is provide them with a very, very strong ad that speaks exactly to what these people want. And by providing that free consultation, we really are able to get people who would be otherwise skeptical or maybe have some questions to allay any of their doubts or concerns, and provide them with your expertise and really build the confidence that you would want your patients to have in you. Now, again, with this campaign, we would have an optimized landing page on our website. I don't think that you need to have a specific page for every women's health issue, like acupuncture for hormone imbalance and acupuncture for menopause or PMS. We can wrap all of that into one very powerful landing page that expresses your expertise in using acupuncture for women's issues, and really help people understand your services and make them feel confidence in booking an appointment or booking a consultation. So right now, if you are looking for patients, these two methods will get you there. Making sure to have one campaign specifically for the people who are searching for pain-related searches. And I think back pain, if you just have a campaign for people searching for back pain treatment and having an ad that uses the word acupuncture in it and allows people to challenge or maybe be open to the question of whether or not acupuncture would be for them, that's a great way to get a lot of traffic to your website. And we could definitely make sure that it's as cheap as possible, because you will be able to bid fairly low and yet still get a lot of traffic. Now, you could also use the other method of using acupuncture in the search terms and be able to also pay a very low click rate. So it would be much cheaper per click, but you'll be getting very high intent traffic. Now, I want to mention a few things to note over here. When it comes to Google Ads or any advertising, tracking is super important, and it's so important to have your tracking set up right. A lot of web developers, they might be great at setting up a website, but they're not very good at setting up tracking. And I know from a lot of experience working with developers, so take my advice, find a developer who specializes in tracking. And you really want to know the budget that you're putting in your advertising is resulting in actual appointments, actual patients. And I'm going to actually link to the developer that I use. I have no affiliation with him at all, but I know he's really great and he's pretty affordable. So you can click on that if you need a developer for tracking. Your tracking developer will also need to make sure that you are complying with the consent and legal privacy requirements, and you're probably going to need a page on your website that describes how you use your visitor data. Again, that's something that your tracking developer will be able to set up for you as well. You make sure that's set up correctly, because there are other kinds of campaigns where you are going to be able to retarget people who are on your website who didn't actually make an appointment. Going back to the idea of keeping your advertising as cheap as possible, if we're paying money to get visitors to our website and they left the website, it would be great if we could retarget those people with an additional advertisement, with another campaign. I'm not going to get into that kind of campaign today, but just to know, you want to make sure that you're doing the proper tracking configurations as well. Now, I want to note that when it comes to your landing page that people are going to click on, obviously it needs to have all the right wording and you have to provide all the right information. You're going to want your frequently asked questions. But one overlooked thing is building rapport. And what I mean by that is having people actually see you, having a video where you describe your process, you describe your treatment, allow your visitors who've never met you, never seen you before, to get a sense of who you are, to build that sense of trust, because that will make your conversion rate 10 times better. So please don't overlook that. If you're shy on video, it's worth doing. It's really worth it, because there's nothing quite as important as building trust when it comes to providing health and wellness. I encourage you to do that as well. And I'll also link to my video where I discuss a website strategy where you can understand how to optimize your website and these tips for how to maximize your conversions from your website. Now, one last thing is that because we're paying for traffic, right, we might be spending maybe a few $100s a month, and that would probably be money well spent if done correctly. But one great thing about this strategy is that it actually saves you money by folding into your SEO strategy. What does that mean? Getting people to your website, getting them to read through your website is something that Google sees, right? Google sees people as they are on your website. They see if you're clicking around, they see if people are booking appointments, they see that your website is a valuable asset on the internet. And when people search, there's those paid advertisements, but then there's also those free listings. A lot of times there's the maps, you'll see a few listings for maps, or even just the organic search listings. We really want to get on top of that. And so by getting these patients into your practice, when they are satisfied, we want to encourage them to leave reviews, because that will be a signal that your practice is really great. And by doing that, your advertising budget is also going to be contributing to getting those good reviews, which helps your SEO, which helps your organic listings. So it will take 6 months to a year to get that organic ranking on the top of Google for different searches, but that will be money well spent now and will really be a great investment for that long-term SEO. So don't forget that this budget that you're putting in now, though it might seem like it may be more expensive than maybe just going for word of mouth or some other marketing methods, but when it comes to long term, this can actually pay off by providing Google with the signals it needs to show that your practice really deserves to be high on organic search and maps. I know that this might be very confusing, and I know we discussed a lot over here. It's not the hardest strategy, but there is a lot of things that contribute to it. And as a practitioner, technology is probably something that's more of a headache that you want to avoid. So I want to invite you to join our free community, which is all about empowering wellness practitioners like yourself with the knowledge and understanding of how technology works, and to really build your confidence so that you can benefit from the ways that they can help you. So please join our free community. We have a free weekly Q&A session where you can ask me any questions. We also have free workshops, and we're really here to empower you so that you can build your practice and really make the biggest impact you can for your community. Thank you so much, and keep it awesome.